Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Montreal Forum and to this first game of an 8-game series between the national team of the Soviet Union and the Canada team. Mesdames et messieurs, voici maintenant les arbitres. Le numéro 1, wearing number 1, Victor Zinger. Le numéro 2, number 2, Alexandre Gousseff. Le numéro 3, number 3, Vladimir Luchenko. Le numéro 4, number 4, Victor Kuzkin. Le numéro 5, number 5, Alexandre.
Beautiful setup here. Now look at this. Number 5, Brad Park gets the puck across.
Vladiev misses. He goes back into the Soviet zone. Cleared the puck up now to Mikhailov, who's out there with Blinov on a change of players for the Soviet. Hadfield drives it down the ice. Gilbert races after with Rattel, but he missed the pass. Back come the Soviets to the blue line at center. Mikhailov passed over that far side to Petrov, a shot right on, and Dryden covered that short side. Canada leading 1-0. Back to center ice. A weaving pass over the line is offside as Gilbert delayed a bit. With the score, Canada 1 and the Soviets no score. This is game 1 from Montreal. They're starting off already at the blue line as Rattel is now at center. The puck comes back at center ice. Oh, there's a close call as Vikolov had a chance. He goes in on the side. His pass to Maltsev. The shot was wide. Another try. Harlamov had a try, and the defense player took a crack at it, Sigankov. But now the Soviets come in again. Sliding pass was intercepted. Raglan is going back, lost it. Canadian club have to regroup as the puck goes back to Sealing. Sealing across. Ori couldn't get past center ice. And Harlamov got that pass to Maltsev, who took a long shot. Raglan keeps it in. It's back for Maltsev. Back to the net, beaten to the puck. He bumps into the Canadian player. They jam against the boards. A few elbows there, Brian.
Foster in this early going there outside of that first goal. The Soviets have come back. They've settled down. And what we've seen is their typical game. They play puck control, but I've noticed once already they missed a good chance for a scoring play when they tried to pass it off in those early minutes.
Petrov is coming out for the Soviets. And as Mikhailov.
There's a good look at Coach Harry Sinden. He looks
a little worried, I think.
He's pacing a little bit like a cat.
But they've made the change on that scoring play. Apparently the puck didn't go over the line when Mahavlich tapped it. Came out again and Esposito tapped it home. But it's 1-0 for Canada. A goal in 30 seconds. Kuzkin had cleared it over to Gusev. Gusev shot it over the line. Mahavlich cleared it out at center ice. And Blinov gets that puck at the Canadian blue line. Overskated it. A loose puck is there. Centered out in front to Gusev. And it was stopped there by Sealing. Canada breaks 3 strong. Mahavlich cleared right to Korloyev. And he was turned around on the play. Seemed to be hooked on the try and didn't get a shot away at all. Mikhailov down the left side, took a drive, but Dryden it nearly went into the corner of the net, and the play is stopped, and a mix-up with Mikhailov in the corner.
That was a terrific shot by Mikhailov. Dryden had to make a tremendous save because it looked like he was going to try to cut in front of Dryden, but then he let a high wrist shot go that Dryden just got his stick hand on. There's Don Ori going to the bench.
As if Sealing was injured on that last play. Esposito's now at center ice for Canada, facing Petrov, and Mikhailov and Blinov are the forward line for the Soviets. Blinov is number 9 as Vernoye cleared it across to Mahavlich. Mahavlich centered it. No one was there. Mikhailov nearly gave another chance, and Esposito was right there. He was given credit for the first goal. Bergman bumped into the Soviet players. The puck slides down the ice park with Blinov after him. He missed, and down they go. Blinov got back. The puck goes over the line, was offside, as Vernoye was just a little slow in crossing the line.
So far, Foster, as the line leaves the ice, they've looked terribly dangerous out there. On that first goal, the way Esposito picked it up, and it's so typical of Phil Esposito, Mahavlich made the play on goal, but he didn't quite put it in. It hit the pad, and Esposito's standing right on the doorstep, and if you leave Phil Esposito there, you're going to have a lot of goals scored against you.
From the face-off, Clark is out there with Ellis and Henderson. Clark of the Philadelphia Flyers and Ellis and Henderson of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Coach Harry Sinden said about this line that it had to have been the big surprise in the training camp. Bobby Clark inserted between Ronnie Ellis at right wing and Paul Henderson on the left wing, and they've gone as a unit here, and I think you'll see a lot of skating out of them. They'll cut off, but it was a perfect shot.
Henderson certainly had that one labeled. That makes it 2-0 for Canada as the puck is shot into the Soviet zone. They have 13-12 left in the period as the puck comes back to Bergman. Taps it in front of the Soviet bench. Henderson stole the puck, leaves it for Ellis. Ellis is jumped. Poladiev fell over him. Ellis was hurt on the play as Poladiev fell on top of him. Seemed accidental the way it worked out. But Ellis was injured on the play. With the score, Canada 2 and the Soviets no score. This is game 1 from Montreal. into the Canadian zone. Now it's 2-1 for Canada, and the Soviet making a real battle of it. The ice seems to be slowing up a bit, and Maltsev tried to center out. It stopped. Canada break out at center ice. Rattel over to Gilbert. A shot and a pass went to Hadfield in the corner. It bounced right back to Rattel, who had a shot there when Sugankov cleared it to him. Now Rattel lost the chance when it bounced off his stick with Sugankov down. Maltsev is knocked over. Canada keep it in park. Cleared it on the boards. The puck comes right back to the blue line. Gila Point had a try there, but wasn't successful. Soviets coming down with Harlamov clearing it, but Park intercepted it easily. Then Petrov broke up the play, keeping the puck in Canada's zone. They're persistent, and they're hard to stop once they get in this Canadian zone. 2-1 for Canada as Kuskin, the defense player, goes back to clear it to Gusev, being watched by Red Berenson. On the defense, here's a shot. Wide of the net as Petrov let it go. Mihailov let it go again. Goes into the corner, and then Blinov is run into the boards. Slides to the corner. Canadian team having a hard time getting that puck out. Soviets still have it. Here's a pass back to Petrov, a shot, and Dryden had to stop that one. And the Soviets are putting on the pressure. Kuskin clears it back into the Canadian zone as the Canadian team seemed to tire a bit. Peter Mahovlich failed to get out. Mihailov. Bergman over on the right side, and is cleared onto the left wing by Redmond, only to have Gusev go all the way back into the Soviet zone. A bad pass. Redmond is knocked over. There's going to be a penalty on the play. Redmond was upset by Mihailov, and here goes a tripping penalty, and he doesn't even take a look. With the score, Canada 2 and the Soviets 1. This is game 1 from Montreal. Getting ready for the face-off. Canada sent out Red Berenson. Esposito is going to take the face-off. It went over to the far wing, and Cournoyer deflected it into the crowd.
I don't know what Coach Sinden's thinking is on this, but you'll see on this, goes into the corner, he's tripped there. Mihailov definitely deserved a penalty.
Yeah, he certainly made sure the Canadian player went down. From the face-off, the puck goes back to Sealing. Over to Berenson. They're using their power play as Mahovlich gets it over to Esposito. Esposito weaving back a bit, tried to draw his check. Sealing gets it on the check, cleared it over in front of Mahovlich. He's watched down the play. Now another try, right in front of the net. Mahovlich backhanded one, but they're not shooting that puck very much. The crowd are beginning to yell. The Soviets finally tap it out to center. Berenson, 15, going back to get it for Canada. He clears to Mahovlich, going in on the wing. Paladiev trying to stop him. Another cleared pass, bounces. It's right in front of the net for Esposito. Right in front. Berenson had a whack at it, but it went wide and back of the net. Mahovlich keeping it in, shooting it back of the net. Lechenko failed to stop his man. Mahovlich getting a shot, and it bounced off Esposito's leg and went wide of the corner. Sealing cleared to the boards. Cournoyer cleared into the corner, and the Soviets knocked that puck to center ice. Canada coming again. Cournoyer goes over the line, was bumped around quite a bit there by Mishkov, and Cournoyer didn't like it very much. Canada moving in with Park. Over to Esposito in the corner. A pass right in front of the net. And Krejciak was down there with Henderson standing by on a player change.
Krejciak makes a good save here. Esposito, the big long reach to the outside. How do you stop it? Right in front, almost a tip in here and a goal, but Krejciak slides across and smothers the puck. The Russians couldn't have been doing their homework faster. They're leaving Esposito standing in that slot area, and they're going to get in a lot of trouble if they keep that up.
They're having some close calls. 3:17 left in the first period. 2-1 for Canada, and it's close. Park at the blue line. Flipped it over onto the boards to Ellis. Back to Bergman, who couldn't get up. And it goes to center. That is a close call there, as Harlamoff nearly got loose. It's back at center ice. Raglan shoots it over the line. Bergman for Canada, playing it back as Park goes up for Canada at center, being chased by Vikolov. He's knocked over. Park is upset. Raglan will get a tripping penalty. The play goes right on. It's back to the net. They're jamming there. Here goes the penalty. Raglan.
Big Alexander Ragulin. There's a look at Bobby Orr, and I bet you wishes he was in this game.
I'll bet he can hardly contain himself.
This will give Canada another chance to get that power play. So far, Foster, I think that puck control is absolutely critical. There he goes down. You can see it was a clean trip. You see Bobby Orr there. We can see at the end of the first period, Bobby Orr will be interviewed, as well as Alan Eagleson. And there will be a feature on the two coaches, Harry Sinden and Bob Rov of the Soviets, and some of their background leading to this first confrontation.
There's one thing when the Soviets get a penalty, there's not much doubt about it. They've been very glaring penalties, so there's never been any argument about any of them.
Foster, to follow through on that thought about puck control. So far, when each team has had the puck, they have been very dangerous. So I think it's absolutely critical that puck control is very important to Canada and to Russia when they get that puck in Montreal. He's got speed. He's got a good shift. Now watch this. Dryden comes out to try to play it, but he opens his pads a little bit and it goes between.
When the face-off, the puck is cleared into the corner in the Soviet zone and back to center ice. Park. 2:40. The Soviets have taken the lead. Karlamov. Now then it's Red Berenson trying to come in on the right wing. Redmond with them in front of the net. Peter Mahovlich couldn't control the puck. Back they go again. Blinov on that right side. He falls. Bergman recovered. Mahovlich down on the far side. Into the corner. Fired one. Tretiak grabs it. They're right on top of him with Gusev standing by. And Redmond was almost in the net.
It's a good example there. You'll see Mahovlich gets the shot, but look at how the two Russian or Soviet defensemen come and take the man looking for the rebound. Look at Redmond. Bingo. He is taken right out of the play. Again, the shot. Mahovlich gets a good shot away, but there's no chance for Redmond to really get to that puck. Tretiak has looked very strong so far. He's made any adjustment he has to make to this different speed in shots.
Soviets are leading 3-2 after being down 2-0 early in the first period. Puck is in the corner. Redmond trying to center it out. It's blocked. Shot out to center ice where Zeman is crossing the line over to Yakushev. The drive is wide, and Dryden had to cover on that. With the score, the Soviets 3 and the Canadian team 2. This is game 1 from Montreal. Still 3-2 for the Soviet. Down the right side. Shadron was knocked over. And Lapointe now on the Canadian defense. Cleared it up to Esposito. Down the right side to Lapointe, who's cutting in on the left side. He took his shot. And Tretiak stopped that one. A clearing pass goes over to Zeman. 11. He fell. Esposito didn't get his check. Then Shadron lost it to Esposito, who took a shot. Canadian team seem to be being outplayed at this stage as Zeman speeds up over the line. Pass behind him. Canada gets a break. Mahovlich going in with Esposito. Here's a shot. And Tretiak covered the angle beautifully and had that one stick in his pads. And it was Frank Mahovlich who gave it his best shot.
Mahovlich breaks up this right wing now, and Frank is now, he's a left-hander coming in from the right wing, so he's got that far corner he can shoot at, but Tretiak doesn't move a muscle. He has it covered perfectly.
Puck is loose back of the Soviet goal. Slides over onto the far wing as Vikolov failed to get out. Now Sagankov gets it over to Raglan. Raglan's 5. Canada recovers. Ellis with Henderson standing in front of the net. Raglan took him out. Maltsev is hooked on the play, is knocked down by Clark, and then hit with his stick over his accidentally on the play. The goalkeeper skates off. There's going to be a penalty here. And Canada will get the penalty. Clark.
Now here comes Maltsev breaking out. Now Clark's in good pursuit. Maltsev's making a good move here. Look at him holding onto the stick. Bobby Clark steps in underneath him, pulls his leg in, and that was a pretty deliberate move by Clark there. Clark's stick then comes down and hits Maltsev on the back. What we'll see coming up here, Foster, puck control. The Soviets want to keep the puck. If they don't get a good chance to score, they want to hold on to it. And I think we'll see a lot more passing around the outside of the defensive box by the Canadians. Red Berenson is terrific at controlling the puck. Ronnie Ellis has the speed.
I think it's more of a team effort against a group of individuals. The way it's working out, the Soviet team just seemed to keep that puck on a string. And the Canadians are going in individually. Puck is shot down the ice. Canada's a man short. Soviets leading 3-2 in this second period. Maltsev cleared it over on the far wing to Karlamov, and Bergman desperately cleared it down the ice. The Soviets are definitely the better team in this second period. Cleared pass by Sagankov. Failed to click. He tries it again, number 7, getting it ahead to Karlamov. Lost it to Peter Mahovlich, and he failed to get a shot. Another drive goes off a leg. Ellis couldn't get near, and the Soviets certainly can move the body at the right time. A pass to Karlamov there was away offside, and it's brought back into the Soviet zone.
An interesting comment on the play in that last shift there, Foss. There has been a lot of talk that when the NHL Team Canada comes out, that they're going to start bumping the Soviets around. And there is no way that the Soviets do not know how to play the body. I saw them ride Ronnie Ellis off there. They come up with the puck. They are very robust from the waist up. They're very well developed, and they have tremendous balance. Team Canada will not be able to outmuscle the Soviets.
And yet the Canadian team are heavier, aren't they?
They are heavier by maybe 10 pounds per player.
Maltsev clears it over on the left side. Lechenko carries up over the line. There are 4 Soviets right in there. Oh, that was close. Vikolov had a great chance. And the Canadian team shoot it down the ice. Tretiak having to stop it with Lechenko going back to get it, number 3. A quick pass. Maltsev, number 10, goes to center ice over the blue line. Stops. 5 of them are in there. Sagankov lost it, gets it again momentarily. Stopped by Lapointe. Then another chance for Lechenko, and a shot down the ice by Peter Mahovlich. And the puck goes into the corner with Sagankov clearing now ahead to Mihailov. Mihailov to Gusev. Clearing over onto the left wing. Petrov goes over the line. 16 into the corner. Centered out. Lost it. Mihailov gets it back to Gusev. A shot bounces over the other side. And another shot from the right wing went wide. Gusev centers right in front to Petrov. Petrov gets his shot away, but it's wide. And the Soviets seem to get 2 or 3 shots every time. Esposito tried to get out. Lobbed it over to Mahovlich. The center ice. Over the line. Mahovlich waits. Clears over. Oh! And it was missed there by Gilbert.
That was a beautiful play by Frank Mahovlich there. A tremendous individual effort again. Rod Gilbert had just come on the ice, so Frank really should not have been aware that he was there, but he did see him. Frank pulled up and laid a perfect pass across to Gilbert, but the ice is a little rough, Foster. It just bounced off. Canada missed a good scoring opportunity.
12-18 left in the second period with Soviets leading Canada 3-2. after being down 2-0 early in the game. Puck is grabbed off by Hadfield. They have the Ranger line out there. Gilbert, number 8, takes a shot. Hadfield tried to drive it home, but there was a Soviet player right there, Paladyov. Down the left wing, it's Lyapkin. Going on into the corner, Rattel failed to stop, but rolls in front. And Blinov missed a good chance. Now a pass comes out with a 2-on-1. Gilbert going in with Rattel, a drive. And Kretschak cut the corner there, and he went down there to cover. With the score, Soviets 3 and Canada 2. This is game 1 from Montreal. All ready for the face-off, and Hadfield was injured on that last play and went to the dressing room. Park, number 5, was checked, and Shadron failed to go through. Now it's up for Yakushev. He's knocked around, but he sticks right with it. Shadron gets a shot, and it's wide of the goal. Yakushev, 15, back to the blue line. Park cleared it on the boards to Clark. Clark has returned from his penalty. Bergman stands in front of the Canadian goal, number 2. Now they're trying to come out slowly. Park carries up to center ice. Shadron tried to stop him. Here's a backhand wide of the net. Clark having a good try there, but didn't get any steam behind it. A bad pass rolls out at center ice. A quick break by Yakushev. Coming in on goal, he shoots. And Dryden had to be very good on that low drive. Soviets tried to keep it in. Henderson breaks out fast. One man back as he goes over the line. He hit the defense player. Shadron clears ahead to Zeman. Zeman down that right side. A dangerous player centered it. Sealing blocked it. Henderson allowed Sealing. Another try for Karlamov, who bumped the Canadian player and knocked the point flat. Karlamov had his stick on the puck. Shocked at what they're seeing.
Foster, the two things that Team Canada do the best, they shoot better and they skate better. And they should stick to that, because if they try to outmuscle them, the Soviets are too strong on their skates and they'll take advantage of it because of that superb conditioning. There's Alexander Yakushev, 6 feet 1 inch. Big, tall left winger. Good shot.
From the face-off, the puck comes out to center ice, a race for it. Redmond coming down, and he shot one very wide and high. It's kept knocked out finally by Vikolov. French player Sagankov lets Raglan take it. Raglan clears ahead to Maltsev, and the puck goes to center ice for Lapointe. Deflected one off Peter Mahavlich's stick. And the play is called outside the Soviet blue line, with the Soviets leading Canada 3-2. Canada broke into a 2-0 lead early in the first period. The Soviets came back strong and tied it up before the first period was over, and then took the lead in this second period.
Dryden, expecting a high shot, went right down in between his legs.
10-18, Karlamov getting his second goal for the Soviet. The puck is in the Canadian zone. .10:18 was the time of the fourth Soviet goal, and the Soviets are great front runners. And there's a loose puck in front of the Russian goal. Bergman finally took a shot. But the Canadian team, where they took advantage in the early part of the game, are unable to do so now. A quick break now for Mikhailov, coming down with Petrov, centered in front. Bergman failed to clear, it's right in front of the net. And that was a close call, with Blinov being there and planting on it. Canadian team come to center ice. Couldn't get any farther. Mikhailov cleared it back into the Soviet zone. Esposito centered out in front. And Mahavlich nearly tipped one in past Tricek. It was close. Blinov comes racing down with, there's a shot on Dryden as Petrov.
As they skate at you hard at the blue line. Team Canada is coming to the blue line. Esposito, Mahavlich, they're all waiting for the play on the blue line. The Soviets are skating down hard at the defenseman. They're pushing Team Canada's defense back into their end, and it's leaving a great area in the top of the slot, the top of the circles, and the Soviets are taking advantage of this.
Yakushev, Shadrin, and Zeman are out there for the Soviet team, and a quick shot on Dryden right after the face-off.
When a club does skate down at you hard, the defensemen have to back up a little faster, which gets them into their end, deeper into their end a lot quicker than normal.
Clark, Henderson out there with Ellis for Canada as Yakushev is ready for the face-off. The puck goes to the corner, Lapointe clearing it back to the net, Sealing comes over on the right side, hasn't got that puck out yet. Shadrin kept it in. Then Zeman, number 11, clears into the corner. It's back to the blue line, a shot in front of the net, and it rolls off to the corner with Yakushev after it again. Into the corner for Shadrin. Then Zeman keeping it back to the blue line. Polediev gets his shot right on, and Dryden didn't seem to know where that was going. Canadian team finally get it out. Ellis over to Clark. The pass was too far. Here's Ellis trying to get the return, and Yakushev recovered. A forward pass to Shadrin. Shadrin, 19, passes over to Zeman. Zeman is upset by Henderson, who goes into the corner, holds it against the boards as much as he can. Zeman knocked it loose. Comes back to Zeman, back of the net. The Soviets still have possession. Zeman playing it back and over the line. Vladiev skates back to his own blue line as they start making changes. Now, there's going to be a penalty on the play. The goalkeeper skates off, and it's a penalty to Canada. This game is game 1 from Montreal.
There's a look at Guy Lapointe.
From the face-off, Canada get the draw, only to shoot it wide of the net. And the Canadian team are a man short. The Soviets have the edge as Vikolov cleared it over the line. Maltsev tried to clear out in front. Red Berenson had it hit his skate. Canada bring it back slowly to center ice, and Park didn't follow through. Maltsev lost it, only to have the defense player, Sagankov, let Maltsev take it over the line again. They're crowding around. Every man is up for the Soviet into the corner. Watch this passing. Quick pass over to Siganov. Park just missed on the rebound. The Soviet upset. Yakushev gets away at center ice after upsetting the Canadian player. Yakushev overskated the puck. It's still in there, intercepted by Kornoye and Petrov of the Soviet was stopped too. Now Bergman at center to Esposito, to Henderson, as the Canadian team are changing on the go. Soviet leading 4-2. 3:32 left in the second period, and the Soviets have had a good edge in this second period. They've given a great example of team play. A loose puck in front of that net. They're always threatening. Shadrin had his chance. Number 19. Cleared pass over that far wing. Good chance all for Ori down the wing, and he ran into the official and was checked by the referee. Return pass to center ice. Shadrin gets it across to Yakushev. Yakushev checked by the Ranger player Hadfield, and it goes right back into the Soviet zone, brought out again by Polediev. Quick move by Shadrin, a quick shot was right on there, and Dryden had to be very good. Now Hadfield breaks out, going down with Rattel, going into the corner. He's watched by Polediev. They jam in there. Shadrin was there too. with the score, the Soviets 4 and Canada 2. This is game 1 from Montreal. All set for the face-off in the Soviet zone. Rattel is taking it. Shadron got the draw, cleared a forward pass. Varlamov coming in very fast. His pass was knocked down. Gilbert recovering after Bergman made the stop. But they're certainly skating, these Soviets. A rolling pass and a quick pass down to Maltsev. Maltsev back at center ice with Vikolov. Vikolov takes the pass. Varlamov was trailing there, but the puck didn't reach him. Rattel for Canada is turned around by Varlamov. They mix it up a bit. Puck is still loose. Bergman coming out for Canada. Over to Gilbert. Back to Bergman. Across the line. Sugankov stopped him. It rolls out at center. Maltsev is beaten to the puck by Park, number 5 for Canada. Puck rolls to Bergman again. Bergman knocked it off the boards to Peter Mahovlich. Here's a shot. And Tretiak covering that angle perfectly on every shot. Just there's no room anywhere. Varlamov gets the puck back to Ragulin for the Soviets, to Maltsev, number 10. Maltsev up over the line, a long shot. Dryden stopped it. Cleared to the side to Peter Mahovlich with Red Berenson at center. Mickey Redmond on the right side, offside. And it's called back to the Soviet blue line with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. Soviets 4, Canada 2.
There's a look at Alexander Ragulin, 220 pounds, 6 feet. He's been in international hockey since 1963.
Well, he's been rejuvenated, Brian. I think he's certainly moving fairly fast tonight. Blinov goes over the line. Here's a close in. Mikhailov goes right in on goal. Mikhailov was right in on Dryden. They both fell to the ice. But this fellow Mikhailov is really going in there.
Now watch them get to the puck to the outside. Mikhailov comes in very low. He's going down. Dryden, good concentration. Gets the pads up to smother the play.
Face-off in Canada's zone to the left of Dryden. Petrov will take the face-off. Now Ellis comes out. He's replacing...
Foster, Team Canada is having to expend so much energy in getting the puck in their own end that when they do actually get a rush, they seem to be tired out.
The puck is still in the Canadian zone. Peter Mahovlich passed it right onto Petrov's stick. Petrov shot one, and it went over the glass into the crowd. 51 seconds remaining in the second period.
Team Canada here is looking for breakout patterns that will get them up the ice, get them moving up the ice with some momentum, with some good speed, with some good puck control. The Soviets are intercepting almost everything they try.
In the face-off, Canada gets the draw, but they didn't clear it out. It's Sealing now shooting it out off Clark's stick to center ice. Blinov, number 9, left it for Kuzkin. A forward pass to Mikhailov went astray. They're against the boards. Puck rolls over into the Soviet zone, and Gusev, number 2, cleared to the center ice. Now Sealing for Canada, going up over the line, tried a lob pass. Gusev outguessed him by stopping with his skate. Blinov passed right in front of his own goal, and Kuzkin cleared a long forward pass into the Canadian zone. Sealing going back, and it's called for icing.
This has been wonderful hockey to watch if you realize that they've gone at times for 3 and 4 minutes without even a whistle. And that was one of the few stray passes that the Soviets have made, or in fact Team Canada. I think this has been as good hockey as I can remember seeing for many years, Foster.
Right. And the amazing thing is that Canada scored the first 2 goals, and the Soviets have come back with 4 in a row without a reply from Canada.
Harry Sinden's got to get Frank Mahovlich going again, and I can see him talking to him right now. Frank has to be a key player on this team. When Frank Mahovlich wants to play hockey, there is no greater hockey player in the world.
One thing is very noticeable, I think, Brian, and that is the Canadian team have yet to produce a leader. They're still going in as individuals, and no one seems to get them really going. Clark trying to get that draw from the face-off with Lyapkin. It goes down the ice, and it's going to be called for icing. And the face-off will be brought back
Foster, I can just imagine the Team Canada and the Soviets. I mean, the heat in this building is tremendous. And they must just be very, very tired players right now, and it's very tough for them to get up for this.
From the face-off, they just had to drop the puck, and the period ends. With the score, the Soviets 4 and Canada 2. This is Game 1 from Montreal. Well, the Soviets went into the second period tied 2-2 after a stirring first period, but they indicated they were well on their way and improving every move. And it was Harlamov who scored 2 goals in that second period to more or less break it wide open for the Soviet team. 2:40 and 10:18 were the times of the 2 Soviet goals. Previously, Esposito had scored for Canada, and Henderson made it 2-0. Then Zeman got the first one for the Soviet, and Petrov tied it up. And so it's a 4-2 game going into the last period when the Russians seem to be in control at this stage.
Foster, at the end of this game, there will be a special presentation to each of the Canadian and Soviet series. A panel of writers and broadcasters will select the outstanding player from each team in each game. The player will be presented with a hockey rink created especially for this series by the CTV and CBC television networks and the sponsors of these hockey telecasts. The presentation will take place immediately after the game on the ice surface.
And Brian, the official attendance at tonight's game, 18,818. 18,818.
I don't know
must
if
be a record, isn't it?
Well, I'm not sure if it is a record or not, but if it isn't, there certainly isn't an empty seat in the Montreal Forum tonight.
And I imagine there are quite a few really shocked. And incidentally, in this third period, they'll go 10 minutes, and then they change ends. That's according to the international rules. And then they have, of course, the last 10 minutes in that position. So it's something unusual for Canadian fans to see, but that's what happens in international hockey. They split the last period in half. And now we're lining up for the last desperate drive in the last period, and the Canadian team will have to improve to get back into contention. Petrov is out there with Mikhailov and Blinov for the Soviet. Kuskin rushes in on the clearing pass, and Blinov comes right back, number 9 at center for the Soviet. In on the defense, he's turned around by Bergman with Esposito clearing ahead on the left side to Cournoyer with Gusev going back to that. A loose puck, Canada recovery. Here's Esposito handling it, shot in front of the net. Another lob went wide, and Esposito had a great chance there. Back come the Soviet team down the right side from Mikhailov, and he shot wide. It goes over to Petrov, who knocked it into the corner. Park playing it around back of the net with Mahovlich clearing on the right wing too far. Petrov broke it up. Blinov tried to go in on that side, stopped by Park. Park holds it momentarily long enough for a face-off with Petrov standing by.
Once again, a good example of the tremendous strength the Soviets have along the boards. Brad Park made a good move to try and get away from him. The Soviets managed to hook him and hold him up against the boards. Park had no alternative but to freeze the puck. That's Yuri Blinov leaving the ice. He only is about 5 feet 7 inches. He weighs 157 pounds, but it's 157 pounds of muscle.
Zeman, Shadrin, and Yakushev going out there for the Soviet. And Clark, Ellis, and Henderson for Canada. The point is on there with Sealing, and the long shot goes into the corner. Zeman cleared to his teammate Shadrin, who goes in back to the net, stopped by Clark. They pass it back, and the defensive pair of Lyapkin and Paladiev have to go back for it. Starting again, a pass is loose at center ice. Finally grabbed off by Yakushev. Henderson goes in ahead of him. Paul Henderson couldn't get loose, but Clark does down the left side at center. And the puck goes into the corner. Ellis shunted his man out of position and then was knocked over. Puck goes to one side, cleared over onto the far wing. The Apkin up to center ice. 25, shoots it around back of the net. Dryden let it go to one side. Henderson lost it, but it's cleared by LaPointe, but not out. On in and back of the net. Zeman is going into the corner. Number 11 jammed there, held against the boards. The puck is loose, though. LaPointe plays it ahead to Henderson, up on the wing, and Redmond, now on the right side, had to stop. Now Redmond getting a chance, 24. The drive was right on there, and Tretiak came up with a big one. Up to center ice for Shadron. Over the line, stopped at the defense, and it's lobbed out to center ice. Yakushev playing it back to Sigankov as they change on the go, both teams. Harlamov, the star of the game so far, going down that left side, was stopped by Park. And Red Berenson cleared, but not out. Here's another chance, but Harlamov was stopped. A return rush by Canada. Redmond going in, pass to an open wing, and there's the team play that doesn't exist at times. Harlamov going down that left wing for the Soviet. Dropped a pass over to Vikolov. To one side for Maltsev. He shoots it over onto the far wing. Soviet keep it in there. Quick pass is knocked down. They get it again. Harlamov coming right in front of the goal. Takes Harlamov, who seems to be here, there, and everywhere.
You're looking at Harlamov. Has to be their top player. Now, he's a complete hockey player. Look at the footwork here. He loses it, kicks it up, gets it back into a place to shoot. The second it's on his stick, it's gone. Dryden was called upon to make a big save. You notice how Bergman is backing right in on his defense, or on his goaltender, and this is causing Dryden a lot of trouble getting a good clear chance to see the puck.
All set for the face-off with Petrov knocking it wide. Bergman going in back of the net. Still a slight fog coming off the ice. The puck goes bouncing into the crowd as Hatfield was checked. Puck is in front of the Canadian blue line. You can see that fog coming up off the ice there. Must be disturbing to the players. Hatfield now starts down the left side, and it's shot right back to center ice where Park plays it across to Bergman. Bergman for Canada drove one into the Russian bench, and the Soviets really ducked on that one. Face-off is going to be just to one side of the regular spot. Rattel now going to center with Hatfield and Gilbert on the wings. Mihailov, Petrov, and Blinov are out there for the Soviet. Kuzkin on the defense backing up at center ice, tapped that puck into the crowd, number 4.
Soviets here are getting a little more confidence now. You can see on that last shift, Karlamov came out there. He did some of his fancy stick work. There's a look at Brad Park leaving the ice. Good solid shift by Brad Park. Vic Hatfield, number 18, Jean Rattel. But that New York unit has not yet been able to combine as the unit they must. The crowd's trying to pick them up here.
Esposito is now at center ice. Bernoulli is over on that right wing. Frank Mahovlich on the left. Shadron is at center ice for the Soviet with Yakushev and Zeman on the wings. Zeman 11. Puck is over on that far side. Lyapkin and Polodev are on the defense for the Soviet. Down the right wing for Zeman. Gets his shot away, and it was a rising drive that was about a foot off the target and went into the crowd. You can see the fog coming off the ice there now. Seems to be getting worse all the time.
It's interesting when you see the Soviets slap the puck like that. That's a habit that I think they picked up from the North American hockey.
All set. The puck is dropped. Canada recovers. LaPointe on the defense with Sealing. Goes in back of the net. LaPointe getting lots of extra work after the first period. Now LaPointe coming up over the line to center ice. Cleared it on into the corner. Yapkin recovered moment. Soviets still keep it in there. Harlamov just keeping a string on that puck. Finally, it's cleared out by Lapointe. Ellis tried to go down the right side, then Clark followed him. Pass to Henderson, who knocked it to the corner. Raglan was there to stop it, and they lob it out. Maltsev was able to drive it to center. It's right back in again. Raglan getting it across to Sagankov. Sagankov passes on the right wing. Harlamov going back from center ice, back into his own zone, being watched by Peter Mahovlich, and Raglan played it over on the far side to Vikolov, number 18. Now Canada starts to move. Redmond failed to get across. Carried back by Blinov. Blinov going down that left wing, a hard shot, but off the target. From the side, a rolling pass. Blinov gets a whack at it. Bergman stopped him, and you could hardly see him in the fog as he fell. A quick pass goes to the side. They're right in front of the net. A shot. Dryden stopped that one, and it goes back to the goal. A very close call. Blinov was right in on that play. Now Canada with Red Berenson up to center. He couldn't get by Petrov. Mahovlich, Peter Mahovlich is forced back by Petrov. He goes in front of his own net, cutting over on the right wing, a forward at center to Redmond, who lobbed it right on to Gusev's stick. A roller was intercepted by Red Berenson, but to no avail. Park, number 5 for Canada, is watched, but Mihailov and Bergman played it out to center ice to Esposito, who's out now at center with Mahovlich on one wing, and Cournoyer is out on the right wing for Canada. Quick pass to Petrov. He shoots it down the ice. Yakushev was coming on at the time.
Foster, what Team Canada hasn't been able to do in this game so far is slow down the play. The tempo has been too fast.
Mr. Pearson is coming into view there, and the Prime Minister. The face-off is going to be brought up into the Soviet zone. Esposito is pointing to indicate where the players should stand. Mahovlich couldn't control the puck. Shadron getting it over to Yakushev. Yakushev leaves it back at his defense. A forward to Shadron. Stopped, but offside as Esposito couldn't get out in time as Cournoyer was trying to move in.
Foster, as I was saying earlier there, one of the things that Team Canada hasn't been able to do, and they must get Bobby Orr into this series, because they need a player who can control the tempo. If they have to play it at this fast pace, they will not be able to beat the Soviets.
From the face-off, the puck goes into the corner. They're jamming there. The puck is loose, though. Here's a pass that goes astray. Zeman brings it out. Yakushev going down with them. They shoot it around back of the goal. It's into the corner. Back to the blue line at center. It's grabbed off by Cournoyer. Coming in with a pass to Mahovlich right in. And he failed to lift the puck over Tretriak. Another shot on Tretriak, who is very steady. That one by Sealing.
I don't think Frank Mahovlich would have missed that in the middle of the season. He fought for control of the puck, and this will happen. They've been practicing for 3 days. Perfect play by Cournoyer. Now Frank's struggling with it on his backhand. Doesn't quite get the control he needs to lift the puck up to the top of the net. When a goaltender comes out that far on you, you have to get the puck up.
It was a great chance, and a goal at this stage is very important, one way or the other. Contest this is. Cournoyer playing it over too far from Mahovlich. Grabbed off by Kuskin, fed to Mihailov, and he's checked. Now Esposito going down with Bergman. He just failed to get the pass. Bergman and Kuskin go in back of the net, and the Soviets shoot it down the ice. Park is going back for it. It's sliding slowly over the line, and that ice is very sticky.
Foster, I don't think there's any hockey game in history that has had more people watching it. There are people all over the world seeing this game on television in the Soviet Union, all over Europe, Canada, the United States.
And it's a tremendous hockey game, too, Brian. It has everything.
I think that goal by Bobby Clark has shaken the Soviets' confidence a little bit here. They seem to go back in a bit of a shell, and they're now not so confident with only a 1-goal lead, and this is what Team Canada needs. That will slow the tempo down. Team Canada is now starting to get the edge, and they're pulling it away from the Soviets again.
Clark is at center with Henderson and Ellis. The puck goes to the corner. Vladiev failed to clear it out. Another try by the same player, 26, lost it. Canada coming in right on goal. Oh, that was close, as Henderson had a drive from close in. Again, Liapkin cleared it over on the far wing. A race for the puck. Shadron is skated off. The Soviet recover again outside the Canadian line. Shoot it in. Zeman took a good bump from Ellis. Henderson tried to get a pass. It rolls out at center ice. And the puck goes high into the crowd when Lapointe was checked on that far side by the Canadian bench.
Harry Sinden has good reason to be happy with this Clark, Ellis, and Henderson line, because there's no question that they are playing the best as a unit, and it shows every time they're out on the ice. Bobby Clark, I personally believe, is probably the best forechecker in the National Hockey League today.
He's certainly doing great guns tonight. 8:40 left in the game. 4-3 for the Soviet, and Canada fighting hard to get back into a tie at least. Park goes back on a clearing shot behind his own goal. Rattel is out on the forward line with Gilbert and Hadfield. Rattel, 18, played it over on the far side to Hadfield. He drives it into the corner. A race for the puck. Lechenko was stopped. Rattel centered it. Tretiak stopped it. Lechenko stopped by Hadfield. Hadfield trying to dig it out from back of the net, and the play is stopped with Sagankov and Lechenko covering him. And that fog persists.
The fog does persist. It has to be a bit of a distraction because they play the puck in their feet so often, Foster. When there's fog like that, it just is a bit of a distraction, and when you have your head down, you don't want to get corked.
From the face-off, Canada gets the puck again. Rattel centered out in front to Gilbert. Gilbert centered it, and Hadfield failed to get the pass. Sagankov cleared out as Maltsev comes up at center ice. Maltsev, number 10, keeps on going past Park into the corner. Stopped by Gilbert and given a jolt against the boards by Hadfield. Lechenko couldn't cover his man. It's brought to center by Rattel. Gilbert races after it, gets it back of the net, centers it, and Mahavlich let a high one go. Soviet stop. Lechenko. Maltsev stopped. And Peter Mahavlich going in with Redmond. A drive is wide. And the Canadian team are fighting with everything. The puck slides out to center ice. Lapointe played it over to the open wing. Lapointe goes after it. Drives it on into the corner for Canada. In back of the net. And Lechenko clears the forward pass to Mihailov. Lechenko stopped. Oh, Mahavlich had a royal chance there. Redmond bumps around with Sagankov. Sagankov is shoved around by Redmond, and that nearly started something, but Peter Mahavlich had a great chance there from about 20 feet out.
It's inevitable that the pressure's going to build up, and Guy Lapointe is a very highly strung. Now look at, here's a
5:15 remaining in the game. The Soviet have burst into a big lead again, 6-3. And the Soviet get a penalty. High sticking is the call for that last play.
Team Canada has to take advantage of this penalty now. They've got to get good control, and they have to get the shots at Tretiak. I think Tretiak so far has probably been the biggest surprise in this game. I don't think anybody expected him to become the goaltender he has in this game. He's been cool on Phil Esposito. He's skated right out and stopped Frank Mahavlich. He's playing the slap shot better than I ever thought I'd see him do it.
He's very sharp. Rattel is out there at center, got the draw, centered in front of the net. A shot. Mahavlich thought it was in the net, but Tretiak kept it out, and it's Phil Esposito going back to get it. Canada putting on another drive after the Soviet came rushing back with a couple of fast goals. The Soviet break it up at center ice. It was Vikolov that did it, and Sealing falls back of his own net, tipped it to Esposito back of the goal. Esposito playing it over on the right side, and that splurge by the Soviets has more or less taken some of the steam out of the Canada attack.
Foster, a power play attack has to come up the ice with momentum. Team Canada does not have the momentum. Because there isn't this great coordination between your defensive pair and your forward line, they are coming up, the defensemen are carrying the puck up. The forward line isn't absolutely sure whether they should be breaking or waiting.
Petrov is going to center ice, and Mishakov is getting a turn. He hasn't been out there very often. So they're throwing in some of the reserves for the Soviets. But Petrov is still at center ice, but this is all part of the penalty killing. That's why Mishakov is in there likely. Puck is back of the goal. Park gets that puck for Canada. Soviets are still a man short, up to center ice. Rattel couldn't get anywhere. Park recovers, goes over the line. Park faked a shot, goes into the corner, shoots, and it's deflected high into the crowd. But the Soviet team just seemed to have a player on the attacker every time.
They don't give you many chances, but again we saw an example. Brad Park making a good individual effort, but there is no teamwork. He didn't quite know who to pass it to, so he played it himself. The Soviet player takes him into the corner, puts the stick on the ice, deflects it off into the crowd. There's Karmelov, who I have to feel is probably one of the top Soviet players.
From the face-off, Bergman couldn't keep the puck in and has to go back to get it at center ice. Park takes the pass, then back to Bergman at the blue line. Petrov watching him. They shoot it over the line into the corner for Sagankov. They jam into the corner. The Soviets recover. It's a quick move with Mishakov coming up with Petrov, who fired the shot high, hit the glass. Dryden played it over into the corner. And Canada come again on a four-man drive. Esposito at center is crowded a bit on the play. Mishakov covered. Then Gilbert tries to help out, going into the corner, covered by Sagankov, and they hold it there for a face-off.
The Soviets have taken over control again. For about 3 or 4 minutes, Team Canada really picked it up. When they got that goal by Bobby Clark, it looked like they had the momentum to maybe get the goal to tie it up. The Soviets were running around a little bit. They had lost their confidence. They went back in the shell, but they picked up a couple of goals. They now know that they've got the game in good control, so they're not going to take any chances. I have to say, Foster, I am really impressed with the gutsy effort that Team Canada came up with there, because these men out there, they have to be tired. They're not in the top physical condition yet. We know that, and they'll play better hockey as this series progresses.
Berenson got the draw. Here's a shot right on. Tetriak made the save again on Peter Mahovlich. Soviets shoot it down the ice. Mishakov let it go. And now the Soviet team are at full strength again.
The big thing that Harry Sinden now has to be asking himself, because I'm sure everybody else in the world will be, did he pick the right 19 players? I can only say I believe he did pick the right 19 players for one reason. They showed the best in training camp. You have to go with them.
Yachenko and Kuskin are now on the Soviet defense. Maltsev is going to center ice. Harlamov and Vikolov are the forwards as the puck is cleared out to center ice. Berenson for Canada with Redmond and Peter Mahovlich. They just drive it back into the Soviet zone. 2:59 left in the game, and the Soviets have a commanding lead, leading 6-3. Now Peter Mahovlich from the side, center back to Redmond. He went off his stick. He drives it away wide. It goes to the corner. Vikolov let Peter Mahovlich get it back to Bergman. A shot is wide. Redmond fired it right back, missed. Bergman having a try, shoots it into the corner. Kuskin shoots it back of the net. Redmond tried to center it out, hit Lachenko's skate, and the Soviet come right back with Harlamov coming up over the Canadian line. Still has it. Finally lost it when Redmond came racing out and then was knocked over. Soviet coming up with 2:12 left in the game. Harlamov was stopped by Redmond, going down with Bergman on the right side. He played it off the boards to Redmond. He fired it in front, and the puck is shot down the ice. 1:56 left in the game. Soviets leading 6-3 in a tremendous hockey game here, the first of a series that promises to be sensational. Now LaPointe goes up, getting in close, right in, and again, that Pritchak was steady and covered the angle. Down the left side for Zeman. Zeman, number 11, gets it back to Yakushev, who's knocked down. Puck is on the boards.